Hey there, Internet friends. Trevor Starkey here with another episode of AC Saturday as I continue my journey through My Hero Academia Season 2. Today we are touching on the episodes Bizarre, Gran Turino Appears, and Midoriya and Shigaraki. This is another one of those that I forgot to mention it, or I think I mentioned it kind of at the beginning of the season, that the theme music changed, and the theme music changes here as well. Kind of midway through this season, the opening and closing themes changed. It's every time, just as I'm getting used to kind of the new theme, like boom, thrown into another new one. The opening kind of is more like nightlife, heroes in action kind of sequence, and then I love the closing of this one, where it's very kind of like RPG-esque, and you have kind of Midoriya out there like a wandering elf or something. You have Ida very much in like knight in shining armor kind of thing. You have Ochaku doing kind of like a red mage-esque thing. You have Kachan or Bakugo basically being like barbarian, angry, like shirtless barbarian kind of thing, and it's very fun, very D&D like, and I really appreciate that. So I'm guessing this just kind of happens in anime, maybe. Like I remember being thrown in Death Note when the theme kind of changed halfway through that show. So I'm guessing it kind of changes, and obviously not knowing the lyrics that are being sung and whatnot, I can't speak to if it's like tying into the new arc that we're kind of embarking on or not, but it's just definitely just kind of like an interesting change of pace that kind of definitely jumps out there at the beginning of the show. It's like, oh, okay, this is a new thing that we're dealing with, and the new kind of arc that we're on, of course, is the internships that we kind of that the students picked in their last episode. Time to pick some names. So here in Bizarre, Gran Turino Appears, you have Deku. Kind of we're centered mostly around Deku with his internship with All Might's former mentor teacher Gran Turino here, and it's very much kind of a doddering old man who's maybe not there all the way, but he probably is just fine. And he's kind of using the deception to train Deku in kind of getting him to have more control over his powers, and he's kind of getting Deku to think about his powers in a new way. So it's not all for one being like one special move. It's all for one is like a part of him. It is with him in the same way that like Ida's leg jets are with him, or that Uraraka's gravity powers are with her, and it's like so it's getting him to kind of think about it in a different way, which I appreciated. And he's also the doddering old man. Gran Turino is very much like super speedy, and so he kind of darts around there, and we get to see a little bit more of Deku's kind of analysis in kind of in the heat of battle, and how he finds himself kind of with a possible way to victory by trying to think about strategies and tactics and stuff. And I think Gran Turino kind of really sees that and kind of jumps on it. So yeah, that we have that going, and then we kind of have little cuts to a lot of the other students in their respective internships. Ida, as we saw, has basically gone off to a more kind of like street hero, kind of walking the streets, solving crime, or not solving crime, but like answering police distress calls or something like that, in Hosu City, where his brother was attacked. Similarly, in these episodes, I don't remember if it was in Bizarre Gran Turino Appears or if it was in Midoriya and Shigaraki, but we have Stain was taken to kind of the villains from the end of last season as kind of like a recruitment. They want to bring Stain, the hero killer, on board, and he basically like fights back against them and basically says, we don't believe in the same things, I'm not interested. Tries to kill them, but Shigaraki, the bad guy with the decay power, I think, he kind of pushes back against that, and destroys one of the guy's swords, and he's like, okay, we don't agree, but I'll let you live, you have conviction. That's we get a little bit of his mentality in these episodes. Also, Stain basically is out there killing heroes because he thinks hero is an overused word at this point. He thinks that hero has been sanitized in its terminology. It kind of feels a little bit like where the end of Doctor Strange, when Mordo is basically like there are too many wizards in the world, or too many magicians, too many wizards. I don't remember which one he says, but basically he seems to be cutting down on heroes to make heroes mean more of a thing. Seems to be his kind of like warped little view of the world. Also in here we have basically day 2 of Deku's training is, okay, we're going to go fight some villains. You're getting a better grip for your power, but you're going to need to fight a more varied array of enemies than just me doddering old Gran Turino. So we're going to go fight some more villains, but there aren't many in this town because, population's low. So we're going to go to Shibuya, and that's going to take them through Hosu City on the bullet train. And while they're passing through Hosu City, they explosions are happening and stuff. So they basically get thrown / jump from their little train car to go intercede in what's going on. And we also see in here, and the cliffhanger we're left with in this episode is Ida finding the hero killer Stain, who's working low-key in the city, while Shigaraki has kind of warped into the city, and much like he did with the end of last season, he's being very flashy and showy, and he's got more Nomu monsters, so more of those monsters with the brains exposed and just kind of mindless, easily controlled beasts. He's got at least 3 more of them, I think. So he's out there blowing stuff up, and Stain is basically too flashy, and he continues with his little vendetta, and Ida comes upon him and basically is there for vengeance. He has kind of an Inigo Montoya moment of hey, you attacked my brother, so you will remember the name Ingenium as the person who defeated you, kind of thing, and that's kind of the capper we're left with in this episode. I'm very interested to see how that plays out. Hopefully Ida doesn't get too messed up from this guy who's very much taking out full-blown heroes left and right. His ability seems to be able to kind of paralyze people. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Those are kind of my thoughts on these episodes. The big thing I really took away as we delve into the beginning of this internship arc is the new music that kind of sets up and closes out the show. But I did appreciate a bunch of I appreciate all the stuff that's going on with Deku and kind of the wax on, wax off Karate Kid-esque vibes that I'm getting with that a little bit. As well as I liked a lot of the cutaways to other heroes, which seem to serve a double purpose of giving you a little bit more world building in terms of here's how the relationship between heroes and the police actually works, and the heroes and the government, and here's how we get paid, and all that kind of stuff. Gets a little bit into the minutia of the whole thing, but you also have this very flashy the best genist hero who's out there, one of the top 5 most popular heroes or whatever. He's out there, and Bakugo is working with him, and the top genist, or the best genist, is basically we're going to give you a makeover kind of thing to rein in this rage and this idea that you think you're the best. You're good, but we're going to kind of hone you as a hero. You have a couple of the girls who kind of are working with a very glitzy model-esque superhero, and she's yeah, I chose you guys because you're cute. And they're both what? No, but we're supposed to be learning. And then you have not Kimishima, Himishima, I don't know. You have Rock Guy and Metal Guy Tetsu teamed up again, working for what appears to be a mob bossy kind of hero, because he's just got 4 arms, big suit, and lots of gold rings and stuff. But he's there kind of giving them life lessons, and yeah. So and theirs seems the most internship-y in that they're making tea for this guy or whatever. And you also have Mineta out there kind of vacuuming for Mountain Lady, because of course, he volunteered or got to work with Mount Lady. So, lots of fun little cutaways in those episodes as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Bizarre Gran Turino Appears and Midoriya and Shigaraki. I very much look forward to seeing kind of where it goes next with Stain versus the UA students in next week's episode. So yeah, let me know what you thought about these episodes in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Trevor Starkey from TrevorTrove.com. You can follow me at SnarkyStarkey on Twitter. And until next time, from here at the Trove, treasure your friends.